Y'all hate Cynthia G, but she's speaking to a lot of young girls.
See?
And they seeing these manosphere talking points of how much these men hate women, because that's how it's coming off. And these women are saying, you know what? I do want to divest, or I'm having these bad experiences with Black men.
This panel, that's cruise season. I like cruise season, but they routinely give this young woman a platform, and they already know that she doesn't think too highly of Black men. They know this. She said that she has a lot of divester followers.
The divesting side where Black women are, I see it. They follow me as well.
She understands why those women are listening. Why is she on your panel?
So I'm not with nobody, cause I don't wanna hurt nobody. Did it over text, didn't call me. Still got love for your mommy. I know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody.
I think that these male-led spaces are too forgiving and too inclusive. Some of them consistently invite known divestors and divestor supporters and mask it by saying, we need people with differing opinions on this panel. Is it that important that you put content out there where you got women who openly hate Black men? They'll try and mask it, but you can see by their mannerisms, and I'm pretty sure you guys have watched a lot of panel shows where you can simply point out the young women that I'm talking to. If you don't believe me, I have a video for you.
That other side, the divesting side where Black women are, I see it. They follow me as well. I'm not pushing for divesting, but would I want Black love first? Yes. But reality is, as women succeed and get their education.
So the figure that you're looking at here, this is the educational trust analysis of the United States Census Bureau. Black women tend to only focus on college degrees. So the yellow is college degrees. There are 36.1% of Black women that have college degrees. There are 26.5% of Black men that have college degrees. So yes, Black women are outpacing Black men in regards to college degrees. However, every race of women outpaces their male counterparts. But the only time we tend to hear this is when Black women use it against Black men, as if we're doing something that's abnormal. So you would think that if a group of people have higher education, then that would translate into their overall annual income, and earnings, right? But it doesn't. Black men still out-earn Black women, even though Black women have more college degrees. And it's not just Black women, it's all women. All women have more college degrees than their male counterparts. All women make less than their male counterparts. Another point that I see a lot of Black women bring up is they say that they're the most educated, which is absolutely untrue. If you look here, this is white women. 51.4% of white women have college degrees, and it's been like that for years. So Black women are not the most educated, they are the most enrolled. So what you're looking at here, this is the Deeper in Debt 2021 update. As you heard B. Taylor say that Black women have an easy time paying off debt.
They want to talk about student loans, but we can pay that off in a few years. We're changing our situation.
It's not true. So on women's undergraduate loans, including principal and interest, 1 year after graduation, Black women lead at $41,000, almost $41.5 thousand in college debt 1 year after graduating. Black women are struggling to manage repayment. This goes to the point that B. Taylor brought up in regards to Black women are easily paying their college debt off.
They want to talk about student loans, but we can pay that off in a few years. We're changing our situation.
Again, sometimes these women who just hate Black men, they don't do their research. And it's sad because you wouldn't make yourself look like a fool on YouTube by spewing out this wrong information. Few Black women make significant progress in repaying their debt. 12 years after starting college, Black women owe 13% more than they borrowed compared to white men who by then have paid off 44% of their debt.
Because I think Black women are getting their education at a higher rate than Black men, but they demonize us for it. But we're making money.
So here we go. This is a woman's anticipated salary right after graduation. You see that number there? That's $35,000 after graduating. The annual average salary post-tax is $29,000 after graduation, right after graduation. Very simple. Without childcare, what do you see? The remaining funds for women is about $148. That's after the student loan payment, food, vehicle, loan, lease, housing. With childcare, women have $372 monthly deficit. That is not remaining funds. That is debt when women have children after they graduate. According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, 40% of Black women in college are parents. 40%, a higher proportion of any other group. Student parents borrow more than non-parents, and mothers, particularly single mothers, borrow the most. Black student parents borrow more than any other racial group, and Black women lead in that aspect at the tune of 40%. Black women have fewer financial resources to pay for higher education and little choice but to borrow higher amounts. A year after completing a bachelor's degree, Black women hold more student debt than any other group, with an average of $38,000 in federal undergraduate loans. That's before interest and all that stuff that I mentioned. Black female borrowers who attended graduate school hold an average of $58,000 in graduate student loans. So this is the one that a lot of Black women who hate Black men tend to hang their hat on. They believe that when Black women go to school, they make more money than Black men. For Black women, more debt does not equal a higher salary. Black women experience them no matter their educational level. So Black women ages 25 to 64 who hold a bachelor's degree or higher work full-time and year-round, meeting earnings of $60,000 in 2020 compared to $91,000 from white men, $75,000 for Black men, $75,000 for Black men. Let me make that a little bit clearer. $75,000 to $60,000 for Black men and Black women. Very simple. And $67,000 for white women. So Black men outpace white women after they graduate college. $75,000. You guys didn't know that because we never talk about this shit until it's used as a talking point against Black men. You know, Black women using it, right? So, and if you guys didn't know, this report is from the American Association of University Women. I did that on purpose so people wouldn't sit there and be like, yo, where you get that information from? So, according to a 2017 report by the American Association of University Women, 57% of Black women in repayment struggle to cover essential expenses like rent and food. That's a higher proportion than any other group. For single Black women, wealth is nearly non-existent. In 2019, median net worth of a single Black woman under 35 was only $101 compared to $22,000 for a single white man, $6,000 for a single white woman, and $1,500 for a single Black man. So, with B. Taylor saying that, hey, you know, we're doing well, we're making money.
But we're making money.
It's just not true.
Making more money. It seems like, and Black men have said this in these manosphere spaces, that the higher education you get, the less chances you're going to get married to a Black man. That's not what they're looking for.
I'm not one of those men that will sit there and say, you know, women don't need to get a degree. Hey, if it's going to benefit her by making an honest living, then okay, cool. But I just need women to understand that your degrees have nothing to do with your sexual market value. that's for you. It's not for the men that you're trying to attract. I've been very vocal in regards to my girl having a degree in accounting and also in economics. She's my financial advisor. If it benefits, cool. But like I said, get your degrees, get your certifications, and become successful.
And you also tell us that there's not enough Black men for Black women. There's more Black women than Black men, apparently. That's what they say. Then you tell us that you're going overseas. Then you tell us when you finally do make it, you want an exotical. So guess what? I am for women. So if there's not enough of you guys, and there's so many Black women that I have seen that are waiting and waiting and waiting on the perfect Black man, and they're a good woman, but it's not enough of good Black men out there that are, you just said it smooth, they're getting killed, they're going to jail, they don't even date women.
There's only 1.5% of Black people incarcerated, around 7% identify as homosexual, with more women than men. There's 33% married Black men, 550K more, to 27% of Black women married. Black women marry outside of their race at a 7% clip, with 4% married to white men. 93% of Black women married to Black men. Black men earn more money, own more homes, and have a lower unemployment rate. Black women have more children than Black men, and 61% of Black men are in the middle class.
So we got to wake up to reality, and y'all hate Cynthia G, but she's speaking to a lot of young girls.
See?
And they seeing these manosphere talking points of how much these men hate women, because that's how it's coming off. And these women are saying, you know what? I do want to divest, or I'm having these bad experiences with Black men. And statistically speaking, divorce rate in interracial couples with Black women and other men of different races, they don't divorce at a high rate compared to our counterparts who date outside their race. So statistically speaking, Black women do have a better chance of not getting a divorce when it comes down to a different race.
Black men, horrible relationship stats of Black all have people. Longer marriages to white men. Well, actually, she right about that. We did read that study.
So she said she was right about that. That's what she said. She is right. Let's continue.
So I'm glad you brought this point up, because this is something that I oftentimes hear, which is that Black women do better when they marry out. Now, the problem with making this assumption on a face value is that this assumes that Black women marry interracially as much as they marry intraracially, and they don't. Black marriages happen so much more, like exponentially more than interracial marriages. So for you to compare something that happens like exponentially more to something that rarely happens, it's not an equal comparison. And if we really do want to do the numbers, based upon this alone, white men do better off when they marry or stay married to white women. So we have to ask ourselves, if we are pushing interracial marriage for Black men or Black women, why would a white person want to marry us when studies show that they are better off marrying a white person? So this is why this conversation, it's a lot more complicated or more nuanced than we want it to be. And at the end of the day, I think, again, you should date and marry whoever you want to. But my focus is the intention. Why are you doing it? You know, falling in love with somebody for who they are, not getting caught up in this like swirled out as propaganda that says as long as you choose white skin or non-Black skin, you're going to do better. No, choose somebody based upon the right things, no matter who they are, and then you'll be okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and thank Shay Sade for going and breaking that down. So if you look here on the figure that Shez actually cited, it says white husband, Black white, 1.44 relative divorce rate by pairing. And then if you look here, Black husband, white wife, 1.62. It doesn't seem like a lot. So that basically what that's saying is that the divorce pairings, there's a 1.44 rate that Black women are going to get divorced when they marry a white man. Whereas Black men, there's a 1.62. divorce rate pairing when they are married to white women. So you would assume that, oh, okay, well, black women get married or divorced less than black men when they marry white people. So this is Bowling Green State University, marriage to divorce ratio and the U.S. demographic variation. They have a National Center for Family and Marriage Research. They do all the research. This is where the stats come from. So basically, if you read through the statistics here, it's a very extensive study. They have the divorce rate pairings. So let me put it into context for you. So the common narrative is that black women stay married to white men more than black men stay married to white women. It's not true, because when you compare, it says black men, the divorce pairing is based off of 100 marriages to white women. Black women's statistic is 1.4 divorce pairings out of every 10,000 white men. So it rarely happens. You have a 100th and you have 10,000. You cannot compare those two numbers, because black men are getting married to white women at 2 times the rate or double the rate of black women. These stats are on blackdemographics.com. They are done by the U.S. Census Bureau. They were updated in 2021. Again, let me reiterate. When you hear black women are divesters or whoever they are, when they say black women tend to stay married to white men more than black men tend to stay married to white women, it is a false equivalency. I've been listening to hundreds of panels, and women who necessarily probably don't like black men or have some sort of disdain or ingrained in the sister code, they always bring that point like, hey, when black women marry white men, they stay married. It's not true, because of the fact that it's so small, it doesn't even really matter. Why would you compare those two? In these male spaces, we need to stop giving these women shine and masking it as content. I think it's good for content. We need people with differing opinions. She adds value to the platform. You guys tell me. Everything that she said with black men being gay, black men being in jail, black men not being earners or providers or whatever the hell else she said, I've made specific videos debunking all of that. So when I see talking points like this, there's no, well, black women should date outside of their race. I have a video on that as well. Where are the men who are marrying black women in mass? Where? And that's the problem with that whole movement, are people who support that movement. You're saying, I can't date black men. I'm not going to marry a black man. Where else are you going to go? Where the hell else are you going to find a man or men in mass that are going to marry black women? And I hate saying that, but it has to be said. It's like a fictitious candy land that these women are living in. So who else you going to date? Who else you going to marry, right? Who is out there trying to marry black women in mass? So let's say those statistics that she said was true. Let's say all the black men are in jail. All the black men are gay. All the black men don't want to date black women, right? Show me the race or the group of men that are trying to scoop up all of these good black women who can't find a good black man. And if you can, please let me know, because from what I see, it's just a false narrative that these women are pushing. This panel, that's cruise season. I like cruise season, but they routinely give this young woman a platform, and they already know that she doesn't think too highly of black men. They know this. She said that she has a lot of divestor followers. She understands why those women are listening. Why is she on your panel? I may be new to these spaces, and I know how content works. And every time she comes on here, when she brings up these talking points, people get mad and they engage more. I'm not too much focused on that. I'm focused on the fact that you guys will allow a divestor supporter, when you know that if you go to those divested spaces, you're not even going to get in on the stream. You can't go talk to these women. And why would you want to? Because they don't like you. And you're going to allow this woman to get on there and talk this foolery?
When you take out the ones that are incarcerated, gay, and full of shit. The numbers are not there. So for you guys to
stereotypical shit.
sell women this false dream that the numbers are there and that one day they're gonna run into one, that is very disingenuous.
How many black men are really gay though? Like, come on now, that's a like 0.05. Like, let's stop bringing that gay thing up. Most men ain't even. Most black men is not gay.
Yes,
I'm not saying
yes,
that most
That's
are.
bullshit.
yes, they are.
Whoa.
A lot of them are.
They get on here, they don't think about what they're saying. They're going off of these narratives that have been pushed down about black men for years in regards to all the black men being gay in jail. I've already debunked all those numbers. There's more black women gay than there is black men. There's only 1.5% of the black population that's incarcerated. 41.6 million black people in the United States. There's less than 1.5% of us in jail or in prison. It's less than 3% of the black population that is LGBTQ. So I don't know where these people get these statistics by saying that, hey, there's not enough good black men out there. Black men are married at a higher rate than black women. We're carrying our numbers. We get our numbers to 30%. There's 33% of black men actually married. It's literally over 550,000 more black men married. Black women are married at a 27% clip. And that when you put those two numbers together, that puts us at 30%. And that's because of black men. So when we have these discussions about not being marriageable and all these type of stuff, why does it start with looking at who's losing? Who has the lowest number? Black women. What can we do to get more black women married? What are black women willing to do, are willing to change to get married? Because obviously the answer is not simply just go date white men, because they have not bought into it yet. No matter how much you champion dudes like Travis Kelce, who else out there? Any white man that comes into the narrative and says that he likes black women run towards him. But they're not marrying you en masse. So my question to black women is this: what is a win? What do you consider a win on the dating market? Is it just having a short-term fling with a white boy, or just going out on a couple dates? Because if obviously it's not marriage, because they're not marrying you. So all you have to do is be seen with the white man, and that's a win. I mean, what is it? So if there are any women who support this divested movement and you're looking to find another race of men, I would advise you to start pushing marriage or change something so these guys can start marrying you. If you don't like black men, cool. I'm not going to give you any pushback, but nobody's marrying you. And I'm not talking about all black women, but I'm talking about the women that routinely come to these spaces and spew this foolery on panels that's supposed to be having a respectful discussion, and she's just sitting there lying, because no race of men are marrying black women at a high rate. I'm sorry. I wish I could help, but me being a black man, y'all don't listen to us. So it is what it is.